Wally in Baku, get in there. Oh, buzzing for this. Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is qualifying ahead of the 2022 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then get yourself subscribed because I am live for every single qualifying and every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 World Championship. And please listen, drop me a like, that helps me get noticed by YouTube, helps me, get the channel up and running properly. So listen guys, it's quali in Azerbaijan. This has caused many dramas in the past. We've had Charles Leclerc in the wall. This is one of the best qualifying sessions of the year, and pole position doesn't necessarily get you the win either, because these races are chaotic. Like, if you've seen my quick plug for the Thursday preview show, if you watch that, you will have seen I've gone through and there has been some mad results. In fact, virtually every single year there's been an Azerbaijan Grand Prix, there has been a mad result. You've had Stroll on the podium, Checo getting unlikely podiums with Force India, Racing Point and stuff. Even last year we had Sebastian Vettel get a P2 in an Aston Martin and Pierre Gasly P3. So you just can't predict this race, and it all starts today. We've done with practice, we've done with the previews, now we get to the real laps. Now we get to the real meat and potatoes, the proper meaningful running this weekend, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. How far Mercedes going to be off the pace? Can they get up there with Ferrari and Red Bull? We've not seen it so far. We saw it in Spain. We thought Spain, Mercedes have turned it round. That's it. It's on. Not yet. They're still off the pace. Who have we got in the chat then? Ernesto, welcome in. Chris Poundcoin. Yes, I hope that you're feeling a lot better today, Chris. I know you was a bit, you're dealing with a few issues, but hope you're on the mend, Chris. Tax, welcome in. Medio Bastos, stoked for this session? Yes, I am stoked. Top 4 is in for a race. Oh, definitely, man. I tell you what, that top 4, you just can't call it. I love, and I say this every week, I love that Ferrari and Red Bull are so evenly matched, because how many seasons have we had where you just have Mercedes out in front? You look at like 2014 through to like 2019, you had seasons in that block there from 2014 to like 2020. You had seasons there where it was just one car show. It was a one car show. I'm so grateful that last year we had the Titanic battle between Verstappen and Hamilton, and this year we're going to have a Titanic battle between Ferrari and Red Bull. Now hopefully Sainz can start getting some Grand Prix wins. If Sainz can step it up and start winning, we've got a four-way fight for this championship. And listen, if Mercedes can pick themselves up, gain 7/10 of a second, I think in the second half of this season you could have 6 drivers fighting for each win. And I said it a couple of weeks ago, that is absolute gold dust for Formula 1. So, well up for it. But it gets underway. This qualifying session actually was delayed by 15 minutes, hence why I'm on a little bit late. I would usually be on at 10 to the hour, so usually it'd have been on at 10 to 3 for it starting at 3. But because of a crash in Formula 2, they had to do a big repair on the barrier at the exit of turn 1, which then delayed the practice session a couple of hours ago, and because that got delayed, that has a knock-on effect, and hence qualifying was delayed by 15 minutes. But starts in less than 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to be exact. We get this qualifying session underway, so that explains why I was a little bit late coming on. Let's get the live timings up on the screen and ready to rock and roll. That should be on there now. Hopefully that works all fine. You know, I have some trouble with the live timings sometimes. It's a bit temperamental, the F1 website, but yeah, let's get the headphones on so I can hear what's going on, so I can have some sort of a clue of who's who and what's what and what they're talking about. And yeah, we don't want that bouncing on there. But yeah, man, this is just a mad stat that they're on about there in the Sky commentary team. A mad stat is that in the first 7 races, Ferrari have had 5 poles and 2 wins. 5 pole positions on the Saturday and 2 Grand Prix wins. Red Bull with the opposite. They've had 2 pole positions and 5 wins. So, you know, that just goes to show, just because you bang it on pole position on the Saturday does not mean you're winning the race on the Sunday. You know, Charles Leclerc, 5 pole positions, only 2 wins. You know, he'll be looking to bounce back this weekend. You know, you can't sleep on Charles Leclerc this weekend. I think he's going to be well in the fight. He's going to want to take back that championship lead that he lost in Monaco. Or did he? He might have even lost it the race before that. But yeah, look at the gap between the top 3. You've got Verstappen on 125 points, Leclerc on 116, and Perez on 110. Perez in the championship fight as it stands at the moment. Whether he'll last, you know, I'd love him to be in the championship fight going into round 17, round 18 at the back end of the season. That would be fantastic. Whether he can, you know, keep up with Verstappen and Leclerc for an entire season remains to be seen. But listen, he's on the form of his life. He's coming off a victory in Monaco and goes to, statistically, his best track. This is Perez's best track statistically. He's had 3 podiums in 5 Azerbaijan Grand Prix as Sergio Perez round here. So, listen, he can come away. I was saying in the preview, Sergio Perez can come away from this Grand Prix with the World Championship lead. Now that requires Verstappen probably finishing outside the top 5 or something like that. But, you know, put it this way, the point is, Perez is well in this, well in it. Yeah, managed a coffee but no food yet. No worries, mate. You'll be on the men. You'll be on the men, mate. You know, appreciate you coming on last night, and we had a good chat, didn't we? We had a bit of fun, didn't we? Whether you know, a bit ill, but we still have a good laugh, don't we? But yeah, qualifying session just about to get underway. He tipped Perez. Listen, I've tipped Perez, you know. My predictions, I've got Perez for the win. I went a bit bizarre with I went a bit crazy with my predictions. The problem is, I make my predictions on a Thursday when there's been no on-track running. You know, that's my downfall, because I do the preview show on the Thursday night, so I've got to have the predictions ready. So I'm basically going off hype. I'm going off results in the previous race. I'm going on like predicted upgrades. You know, I'm going on like rumours of upgrades and thinking, yeah, this car will be strong round here. And then they go out on track on Friday, and my predictions are in the bin. Put it this way, I thought Mercedes would be a lot stronger. I mean, listen. They might turn up the wick now. They might turn up the engine now, and they might be on it. But judging from the first 3, judging from the 3 practice sessions, Mercedes still not there with Ferrari and Red Bull yet. I think they were 1.2 seconds off. The quickest Mercedes. I don't know if that was Hamilton or Russell, but they were like a second and a half off the pace. So they need to, you know, I thought Mercedes would be a lot more competitive. So yeah, my predictions are I had George Russell pole. Because I'm a madman. It's madman predictions, isn't it? It's easy to predict Red Bull 1-2. You know, I'm not about that life. You know, I'm about. I love an underdog. You know, George Russell banging it on pole. That's more like what I'm about. But no chance. You know, no chance. It's like I feel like tax betting on Daniel Ricciardo podium every week. Throwing money away. Me going for George Russell pole, throwing my sanity away. That's what I'm doing. Oh man, it's but yeah, the qualifying session has actually started now. So we've got 18 minutes of Q1, at the end of which the slowest 5 drivers will be knocked out and their grid position will be set for the Grand Prix tomorrow. Then we go into Q2, and the slowest 5 drivers in that session, that'll be 11th through to 15th. Those positions will be set at the end of the Q2 session, and then we have a final Q3 session known as the pole position shootout, and that is the top 10 drivers, as it says on the tin, going for pole position. So we'll get there in about, well, red flag depending, but yeah, I'll put the green flag, little green flag, little graphic that I've got. So we're green flag, we're underway. But yeah, we're looking at Lando Norris's qualifying form there. 4th, 3rd, 8th, 11th, 5th. A bit all over the place. But yeah, Lando Norris having a good season though. You can't deny that. Especially compared to his teammate. A lot of speculation about Daniel Ricciardo recently underperforming. Hamilton straight out of the pits. Straight on the team radio complaining about his brake pedal. So that's a good sign. Now he's got it this weekend. Oh yeah. Listen, you got to back your man, don't you? Listen, I back you, Tax. You know, if you've got the faith in Daniel Ricciardo, then I've got faith in you. I love it. You know what I mean? You never know. I mean, you never know, man. He has, to be fair to you, Ricciardo has looked more on the pace compared to his teammate this weekend than he has done in previous races. So, you know, it's not completely outlandish. And the thing is, you know, like I was saying, Baku's a crazy race, you know. Usually, you know, Baku's a crazy race. So, Ricciardo getting a podium, it's pretty out there. But, it's pretty out there. Not impossible. Nothing's impossible around here. If we can have Lance Stroll on the podium in a Williams, if we can have Vettel P2 in last year's Aston Martin, nothing's impossible around the streets of Baku. So get in. So initially, then straight out of the box, Norris on a flying lap, Alonso and Ocon. They're going to be the first guys to set a representative lap time. Norris just coming through the final couple of corners now into turn 16. Notoriously tricky corner, turn 16. In the preview show, they were talking about in the build-up, they were talking about that it's really windy going into turn 16, and you need to get a perfect exit out of turn 16 because then it's flat out, probably for a good 20 odd seconds, absolutely flat out, 2.2 kilometers straight. So it is absolutely crucial. So yeah, Norris crosses the line on a 45 flat. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1, but that was soon dealt with. But both Alpines have immediately beaten Norris straight away. But these are just the early jabs, you know, at the beginning of the round. These are not knockout blows yet. But, you know, Red Bull looking quick straight away, obviously. Verstappen, purple in the first 2 sectors. Purple sector, if you don't know, means fastest of anybody. A green sector is a personal best. And yellow, not very good. You don't want yellow sectors. So look at that. Max Verstappen, purple sector 1 and 2, and bang. Over a second quicker than Ocon goes Perez, and Verstappen beats that. So Red Bull 1-2. Hello, Donald. How we doing, bro? Welcome in. You join me about 5 minutes into Q1, so you've not missed a thing. Good timing. Good timing, because you have not missed anything yet. Just a few initial jabs, just a few initial laps going in. Obviously, if you're one of the top guys, you know, if you're in a Ferrari or Red Bull, you probably don't have to go absolute to the limit in this session. You can bag a decent, lap, and it'll be good enough to get through to the next session, because that's all what this session is about, is not being in the bottom 5. So if you're, 15th and above, all those times are reset and you're through to the next round. So if you're in a top car, you're in a Red Bull, Ferrari, yo, George Russell on the team radio saying Verstappen's driving in an erratic manner. Very politically correct. Very well spoken, George Russell. To be honest, I don't think I've ever heard George Russell proper lose it. Do you know what I mean? Proper a proper rage on the team radio. I don't think he's a pretty calm guy, isn't he, George Russell? But yeah, straight out of the bat then, Verstappen, Perez at the top. Leclerc just 0.3 of a second down in third, as George Russell pops up into P4. 0.8 of a second off Verstappen's Red Bull though, so it's not. It might be P4, he might be high up on the timing sheets, but it's a big gap between the top 3 and George Russell in 4th. Obviously, Carlos Sainz didn't hook up a perfect lap because he's a second off the pace as well. Judging from practice, AlphaTauri were looking good. Alpine were looking fairly good. Alonso was up in P4 in one of the practice sessions. So, Alpine were looking all right. AlphaTauri were looking good on Friday. Mercedes, a bit of a disappointment, I thought, from practice. See what they can pull out of the bag. And Alfa Romeo were a big disappointment in practice. Can they find a couple of seconds? Because they were well off the pace. I had a Bottas pole position. Not a Bottas pole. I mean a Bottas podium. I predicted this weekend. I thought Alfa Romeo is going to be rapid. Bottas on the form of his life. I was a bit of a bold prediction, but I thought there's a chance. But going off Friday practice pace, have no chance. You know what I mean? Gasly up into P7. Ricciardo goes up into 12th. 9.5 minutes left in this Q1 session before the bottom 5 get knocked out. In the bottom 5 at the moment then, Alexander Albon, Nicholas Latifi, Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher and Valtteri Bottas, who hasn't set a representative lap time yet. Got to get on with it. Already halfway through the session. Times ain't working. Oh yeah, good. Oh good. Yeah, no, listen, thanks for telling me about that. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. There we go. Should be on now. Although, that doesn't seem right, because why is Leclerc, Zhou, Albon and Bottas down the bottom with no lap time? See, I told you, it's temperamental, this. I'll sort it out in between sessions. I'll do a refresh thing in between sessions. But yeah, it doesn't seem right, that. It's always temperamental, those timings. But yeah, Leclerc Sainz across the line, goes up P2, and Zhou Guanyu pops up into P5. Wow. That's a lap out of nowhere. Yeah, those live times aren't updating, are they? It's Leclerc goes quickest now on a 42.8. 73 thousandths of a second quicker than Max Verstappen. I'll try. There's a bit of a lull here. I'll try and refresh this. Try and refresh the timings. But yeah, it's always temperamental. I need to find a I need to find another way of getting the timings on, because this is just like every single session there is an issue with it. Every single session. Right, how are we doing now? See, look, it's not even loading. But yeah, Perez and Verstappen on it again. Then they're going. Perez quickest in the middle sector, looking rapid. But I tell you what, the outlier at the moment, early on, Zhou Guanyu up there in P5. That is a lap out of the blue. That, right? Let's see if that's any better now. That should be it now. There we go. Not good that you keep having to refresh it, but yeah, that should be up to date now, the live timings. With less than 7 minutes to go in this Q1 session then. Yeah, down the bottom then. Albon, still Bottas down in that bottom 5. With Latifi, Stroll and Mick Schumacher. Come on, Mick. Here comes Max Verstappen to the line then. Can he go quickest? And does. By 11 thousandths. That is neck and neck. Come on, Latifi. Yeah, come on, Latifi. Pick up Nicky Latifi, man. He needs... I mean, listen, Chris, he needs support. All the support he can get. Was it an early night? Relatively. Yeah, relative. It wasn't a 7, 8 a.m. thing, you know, so... Yeah. Still had a good laugh, though. You know. But yeah, look at the guy. The top 3 separated by a 1/10 of a second. I can't believe Zhou Guanyu's up there in P5. Listen, bring it on. Bring on a quick Alfa Romeo. Bring on Zhou Guanyu banging it at P5, man. If he can show that kind of pace, you know, I mean, that lap time straight away, bang, it's good enough to get him through. That's for sure. But, mate, I think it's the first time... That is the first time I have gone, wow, Zhou Guanyu. It's his 8th race in Formula 1. It is his rookie season. And that is, boom, top 5. I mean, obviously the time's reset. As soon as he gets through to this session, you know, he'll have to do it again. And then get through to the pole position shootout and do it again. But out of the blue. Here we're... following Lewis Hamilton now, who's down in 14th. Needs a lap with 4.5 minutes to go. Hamilton driving like he doesn't belong there. Again, Russell showing the way. Oh, he is, man. You know, we'll see what kind of lap Hamilton can pull out of the bag. But George Russell's turned up at Mercedes and torn it up, man. He's, you know, top 5 every single race this season. And, you know, left Lewis in his wake. It's unbelievable. Here comes Lewis to the line then. Goes up to P8. Not bad, but not fantastic. 1.2 and Stroll's in the wall. Is it big damage? I don't think it's big damage. No, I think he's just hit the wall at like... Oh, don't reverse onto the track. Yeah, he's down at turn 7. He's hit the wall, but at 10 mile an hour maybe. You know, something... and those barriers are called Tech Pro barriers. Are basically like foam barriers. So he's not really got any damage. He's sort of got away with that. Let's have a look then. Replay on board with Lance Stroll into turn 7. Locks the left front. He's lucky that's a Tech Pro barrier and it's made of virtually marshmallows, because if that was a proper barrier... Oh... He's got... I tell you what, these front wings... Do you know, it's something I've noticed before this season. These front wings are a lot more sturdy, actually, than in previous years, to me. I think it may be because they've got less, like... They've got less little gurney flaps and less little... You know, less detail on the front wings. They're a lot less complex than they were a few years ago. I mean, you look at front wings like 10 years ago, like 2012... You know, 2010, 2012, they were massively complicated because the front wing is much, because it's a much more simple design, you know, a lot less complex. It seems a lot more sturdy, and Lance Stroll's gone into the gone into the barrier and got away with it, which is unusual. You know, usually you just see the front wing destroyed. And Stroll, right, what's happened here? Right, oh my God, Lance Stroll's written off the car. Right, what has happened here? I wonder if right, so Lance Stroll's out. We've got a red flag. I think what's happened is... Right, we've got a red flag. That's a big red flag, that. I've got a big red flag for me, my lad. Yeah, so I think he's damaged the front wing with going into the wall at like 10 mile an hour, whatever it was. He damaged the front wing, and then he's carried on, and then at some point, the front wing's just broken, and it's wrecked his front suspension. We're yet to see a replay of exactly what's happened, but his front wing's in 2 bits. Here we go for a replay then. This will explain it. Or is he crashed? Right. Or is it nothing to do with the fact he was in the wall and he's just made another mistake? He's gone in the wall again. Oh, he's just gone in the wall again, man. My theory wasn't right. I thought the front wing was broken. I thought the front wing was broken, and then it's eventually just come off. But nah, Lance Stroll's just binned it at turn 2. He's crashed at turn 2. Understeer. Outbraked himself and bang, red flag. Big red flag. You're right, Rob. No wings getting changed in the race. It's true, man. The front wings did seem a lot more fragile in previous years. The cars seem a lot sturdier. Like when you think of, you know, when in Imola, when Ricciardo hit Sainz, right, at the beginning of the race, and spun him round, and Bottas went into the back of Ricciardo, and all 3 of them got away with, like, no damage. Yeah, Sainz got beached in the gravel, but all 3 of them got away with no damage. And I just thought, yeah, these cars are a bit more sturdy than they have been in previous... Because in previous years, someone, you know, a 3-car collision... Yeah, you know, it wasn't a huge collision, but a 3-car collision would have resulted in a mess. But yeah, no, it just got me thinking. And Lance Stroll got away with one, but then 30 seconds later went into the wall anyway, much harder. So, what can you do, Lance? You know what I mean? 2 mistakes in the space of 30 seconds for Lance Stroll. He's had a nightmare, and he is out. It's only 2.5 minutes to go in the session as well when they get it underway again. Be right back, phone. Yeah, no worries, Nesto. Is his pocket money going to be taken away from him? Yeah, man. He's had a nightmare of a 45 seconds there, Lance Stroll. He's been in the wall twice, got away with it once. The second time, it's a write-off. Well, not a write-off. The front right is wrecked, but they'll fix it for the race. It'll be in the race. He's not completely... he's not completely destroyed the car, but the front right is gone. You know, so all the suspension arms, track rods, all the rest of it. They'll be working overnight on Lance Stroll's car, getting it ready for the Grand Prix tomorrow, but he'll be in the race. He'll be at the back. We might even have a pit lane start if they decide, oh, let's throw a new engine in it or something, new gearbox or something like that. He might even do a pit lane start tomorrow. But yeah, another replay then, Lance Stroll, so he's round turn 1 nicely. Okay. Coming up into turn 2. Yeah, there is vibration as he hits the brake. Whoa. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's understeered. Just carried too much speed into turn 2 for me and just understeered straight into the wall. Maybe Lance will say it's due to damage picked up from his earlier mistake, but I don't know about that. Alright, session resuming in 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And we can get this back underway for the last 2.5 minutes of Q1. Albon needs a lap down in P16. Bottas desperately needs a lap down in 17th. You know, especially with his rookie teammate Zhou Guanyu up there in P6. Bottas will be definitely looking at improving down there. Latifi as well. Stroll now 19th and obviously out. And Mick Schumacher 3 seconds off the pace. He needs to find more than a second just to get out of Q1, does Mick? Come on. Magnussen right on the bubble as well in 15th. I've just realised Vettel's up there in P5, only half a second off the pace as well. Some hell of a lap that Sebastian Vettel has pulled off there. Love the t-shirt. Oh, yeah, hey, Anto, this is OG, this is circa 2014, I think, this. 2014 Maldonado mode. Maldonado is a bit of a legend, wasn't he? Back in the day. But yeah, repping the old Lotus Renault days. But your internet is just slow. Yeah, not as slow as these live timings from the F1 website. Although it should be alright now. I think what happens is, if I load up the live timings, like 20 minutes before I come live, and I just leave it, then it doesn't work. I've literally got to be live, and then go on the website, and load it up. Basically, I've got to load it up while the session's underway. Because if I load up that page, like 15 minutes before the session starts, I've got to go back in and do a refresh. So I've got to literally load it up while the session's underway, which is annoying, but we'll iron out the issues, you know, week by week. Better every week. But yeah, definitely Vettel in there P5 and Zhou Guanyu up there in P6 are definitely the outliers at the minute. And Bottas down in 17th. He's got to improve. Yes, Jordan. What a crash with Stroll. Actually, he had 2 crashes there. Lance Stroll in the space of 30 seconds. The first one he got away with, reversed, carried on, and then went round a couple more corners, went down the road, bang, he's in the wall again. It's like, what a nightmare for 30 seconds he had. And the second crash, yeah, that was a proper crash. He's gone. But yeah, how are we feeling? Oh yeah, barbecue in a bit, lad. Oh yeah, straight from here. Boom, barbecue mode. Get in there, lad. But yeah, I'm feeling alright, you know. Early night it was. Relatively. Yeah. But how are you doing, Jordan? Anyway, you know, we've got a few sick passengers on this train today because Chris Poundcoin's been a bit ill. And Chris Poundcoin's been ill, and so have you, Jordan. So I hope you're feeling better. Back on it. If you can't watch the race due to various circumstances, you can follow me. You know what I mean? I'll keep you updated, even if the live timings mess up. And I'm the Motorsport Madman, and I'll keep you updated on what's going on. So I'm always here. If F1's on, I'm on. Remember that. But yeah, I welcome in Kim. Yeah, looking fresh, Kim. That's what I mean. Early night. I seen you was still on at 6 a.m, Kim, 7 a.m. So that was it. You repped the whole You were on a long, you were on an endurance one last night. You certainly outdid me, Kim. Definitely, I was gone for the wind. But you ploughed on, so fair play. Back home, get in, Jordan. Got the meds. Oh, I bet you're buzzing, mate. Oh, mate, back home. Well in, lad. I'm buzzing for you. Still watching. Yes, away. And we're back underway then. So we've got 2 minutes to go. So everyone's piling out of the pits for one final last gasp effort to get through to Q2. I've got to take that red flag off now. Boom, green flag mode. We are back underway. Let me get the... make sure that's updating. But yeah, this is a mad scramble now to get round. Whoa, they're nearly crashing in turn 7. In turn 4, what are you doing? Oh, yo, they're going to be on a panic. Some of these guys are not going to make it to the line in time before the time runs out. They've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to get round and start the lap. No, look at them all queuing up here. I tell you what, the McLarens and the Haas guys, they're in serious trouble and not getting... Oh, they've got to get a move on. You've got 1 minute left. They're at the castle section. They're only halfway through the lap here. Oh, this is going to be touch and go getting to the line. You know, we had there was an absolute shambles one year in Monza when nobody got to the line in time. They'd all timed it wrong, all messing about. I think it was like 2017, somewhere around there. In Monza, absolute nightmare. They had no one got to the line. Absolute shambles. They've got to get on with it. They've 30 seconds left. Oh, look at this scramble. Mick Schumacher's going for an overtake into turn 16, man. No, there's a certain etiquette, and you've got to respect that. You can't be diving down the inside. But yeah, there's going to be mad slipstreams going on in 15 seconds to get to the line. They might just about make it. 10 seconds left. Everyone's crossing the line to start the lap now. They've all got DRS. Oh, these McLarens and Haas, they're in serious trouble. They're going to hold each other up. They've all managed to start the lap, but they're just going to be holding each other up like crazy. They've not got any gap because you need like you're going to need like a 5-second gap to the next guy, or at least you're going to need a 4 or 5 second gap ideally to the next car, so you've got clean air and all the rest of it. You're not being held up in dirty air and all that. Mate, these guys, McLarens and Haas, forget it. They're running round nose to tail, and nose to tail in qualifying is not how you get a quick lap. Unless you're on the back straight and you get a little bit of a slipstream, but in the corners you don't want to be right behind someone on a qualifying lap. So all of them are in the bin. They won't improve. But we're on board with Lewis Hamilton then. Coming into the final couple of corners. But yeah, Lewis in P9 at the minute. Could do with improving. It might be good enough to get through anyway, but he could do with improving. Racing on Saturday, that's what we love to see. Oh my God. Checked out at 7:30 and then, oh my God, yeah, a heavy one, Kim. Yeah, yellow flag in Sector 2 as Lewis guns it to the line. We're going to cut to someone in the wall in a minute. But yeah, Hamilton doesn't improve. Well, improves but stays 9th. Russell 6th. Tsunoda goes into 6th. So they're looking pretty quick this weekend, AlphaTauri, as Gasly confirms that, putting both AlphaTauris in the top 7. Here comes Bottas then, who needs a lap, down in P17 at the moment. To the line then, Valtteri Bottas, DRS. Only 15th for Valtteri Bottas. Wow. Oh, he's scraping through at the moment, Valtteri Bottas. The graphic at the bottom of the telly there is awful because it makes you think that Bottas is out. The way that they designed that graphic is awful because it duped me into thinking Bottas was out and duped David Croft as well into thinking Bottas was out. But I think he's just about will scrape through. Magnussen out then. Albon out. Latifi out. Stroll obviously out. He's wrapped it up. And Mick Schumacher out in dead last place. Oh, Mick. And Bottas, by the skin of his teeth, does survive. But the graphic on the telly then was very misleading. McLaren's just scraped through as well in 13th and 14th. They won't be happy with that. 1 point, over a second and a half off the pace. Hamilton down there in 11th gets through, but he's going to absolutely have to put a perfect lap together to get through to Q3. Is Lewis? Mercedes over a second off it, and look at that. Look at Pierre Gasly. Gasly half a second off the pace. They're quick, man. AlphaTauri. And I don't know how Vettel's pulled that lap out as well. Vettel half a second off. I have no idea how. That seems like it's a second and a half quicker than it should be, to be fair. So how he's pulled that out of the bag, I don't know. But that's Q1 anyway. Yes, Ryan Tune, welcome in, bro. How are we doing? You was on last night, weren't you, as well? Good to talk to you last night, Ryan. But yeah, that's it for Q1. Kevin Magnussen knocked out is a bit of a disappointment down there in 16th. Both Williams kind of predictable. Albon ahead of Latifi 17th and 18th. Lance Stroll obviously put it in the wall, but Mick Schumacher. Both Haas out. And both Williams out. And Stroll who binned it. Sort of predictable, but Haas have dropped off, man, in the last few races. You look at the results in the first, you look at Magnussen's results in the first few races. Oh, he come back with a vengeance. He's had a couple of years. What did he have? Did he miss 1 year or two? I don't. I think he just missed 1 year. But yeah, he come back with a vengeance. Kevin Magnussen. I think he was like P5 in Bahrain. He's had a couple more points finishes since then, but the last 3 races, the points have dried up for Haas. Maybe as the other teams bring in the big developments, other teams have got bigger budgets to bring big upgrade packages, brand new floors, rear wings, and all the rest of it. Maybe Haas being left behind a little bit and finding himself, a couple of seconds off the pace, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll get Q2 underway in a few minutes. Yeah, thumbs up, we're welcoming Keith. You join me at the beginning of Q2 in a minute, but we're just seeing a replay of Alexander Albon being held up there in this. Yeah, Alexander Albon not happy at all. Oh, Alex is not a happy bunny there in. Obviously been knocked out. What position is he? So yeah, Albon's been knocked out in P17. He'll take no further part in qualifying, and he is absolutely beside himself with rage. Yeah, no, he's not happy with that. Was it Alonso that's held him up? I think. I can't work out who he's having a go at. I don't know if it's Fernando Alonso that's held up Albon, and that's what he's about. Yes, Matty, how we doing? Welcome in, bro. Welcome to qualifying in Azerbaijan. We've already had Lance Stroll in the wall twice, actually. Lance Stroll having a nightmare. He's gone. He's out, as well as Magnussen, Albon, Latifi, and Mick Schumacher. And we're just about to start Q2 in a couple of minutes. And Q2 will be about getting into the top 10. That's all it's about. 11th through to 15th will be knocked out at the end of the session. I think it's a 15-minute session for Q2. And then there'll be a pole position shootout. But we're just seeing a replay of the end of Q1 where it was just an absolute scramble to get to the line. The McLarens and the Haas, both Haas cars, were racing each other to try and get to the line in time. It's a bit of a shambles. I mean, It's difficult though when they had the red flag and then they only had 2.5 minutes to get round and start a lap. It was a mad panic, that. But yeah, they've got away. The McLarens have got away with it. They just about scraped through. In what were they, 13th and 14th? So the McLarens scraped through, but it cost Haas dearly. Both of them are out, so they'll be fuming as well as Alexander Albon. He's not happy. But yeah, we're underway for Q2 now. 15-minute session, at the end of which 11th through 15th will be knocked out, and then Q3 will be where it's at. If Ernesto doesn't reply, he's having internet issues. Oh yeah, he's intermittent today. He's intermittent, just like these flipping live timings are intermittent. Should be up there. But yeah, Ernesto's a bit intermittent, but he'll be alright. I'll keep him updated. He'll be in and out. But yeah. Who's out on track then? We could see both Mercedes. Well, in fact, pretty much everyone's out on track right at the beginning of the session. Yeah, 13 out of 15 of them are already out. Onto the track. I just wonder, man, if Checo can get pole here, that's a big statement as well. You know, Checo comes off the back of a win in Monaco and bangs it on pole today. It's a big statement to Max, you know, to sort of say, listen, bro. You know, you think you're the number one, you're the reigning world champion, you know, you've got the world at your feet, but listen. You know, is this year the year that Sergio Perez has been building to for his whole career? You know, Perez has been in Formula One for more than a decade. I'd say 11, 12 years. You know, what was it, like 2011, I think? Perez? I wanna say 2011. You know, so he's a bit of a veteran, and you know, this could be his year. You know, he's had most of his career in a midfield team. You know, he was very loyal to Force India that became Racing Point. He had a year at McLaren, then come back. You know, he started at Sauber, didn't he? Perez started off at Sauber, went to McLaren, didn't work out for him. He was too young, too early in his career. Went to Force India, and then had like 7 or 8 years with that team that became Racing Point, and then got his big break into Red Bull. And now is this the year that Perez fights for the championship? I hope so, man, because he deserves it. And he's coming to the line now then. Sergio Perez sets a benchmark of a 1:42.2 then. Verstappen across the line now and just about beats that. It was nearly the same time. It's been 3/100ths of a second between the two Red Bulls. Here comes Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly, a second off the pace. Ocon pops up into P4. They're all setting the first times in this Q2 session. Go on, Seb. Seb up into P4, a second off the pace with Yuki Tsunoda just in behind him. Ricciardo a second and a half off the pace, instantly beaten by Lando Norris. Alonso up into P5 now. You know what, Alpine and AlphaTauri looking decent. George Russell into P4. A second off the pace though. The gap between the two Red Bulls and everyone else is a second at the minute, but the Ferraris are going to join Red Bull at the front now. Here comes Carlos Sainz, 42 flat, goes over a tenth quicker than Verstappen. Goes P1. Here comes Charles Leclerc, and a tenth slower. So Sainz ahead of Leclerc, ahead of Verstappen and Perez. Less than 2/10 between the top 4, and then a full second to Pierre Gasly in 5th. I tell you something, P5 is up for grabs for anybody. P5 is up for grabs for anybody. Listen, the top 4, unless something unusual happens, the top 4 is the 2 Ferraris and 2 Red Bulls, man. But P5 can be anybody. It can be Vettel, can be Ocon, can be Alonso. Anyone who, you know, someone puts together a perfect lap, they can have P5 today. It doesn't matter what you're driving. It could be Zhou Guanyu, you know, going off the pace he showed in Q1. You know, Zhou Guanyu could be P5. It's well up for grabs. But the top 4 are just in a different league. It's a different league. I just love that at least, even though it is a top 4 and then everybody else, at least that top 4 is very close. You know, Leclerc 94 thousandths of a second slower than Sainz, and Verstappen just a 10th behind that. At least it's really close. You know, we've not got like where it's a Ferrari a second ahead of everyone else, and then, you know, you've just got Ferrari rapid, and then there used to be an account on Twitter, actually. I don't know if they still do it, but it used to be called Formula 1.5, and it was created in the days when it was literally Mercedes dominating, and then it was a similar situation to this. So you'd have Mercedes on their own, though, well out in front, and then everybody else. And there was a Twitter account that used to do Formula 1.5, and what it did was it deleted Mercedes from the championship, so as if they don't exist, and then it was what points everyone would have if Mercedes didn't exist. And there was, you know, like, it was all hypothetical, obviously, but there was like championship battles between like Hulkenberg and Sainz and stuff, and it was a bit of a comedy one, but it was good. I don't know. They need to bring that back, whoever did that Formula 1.5, because you know, these guys are in a different league, and from 5th down, it is virtually F1.5. Bloody 1.5 seconds off the pace anyway, I tell you that. Oh, Aston Martin in the wall! Vettel slid into the wall at 10 mile an hour. Will he get away with it? Oh, he should have bailed out of it sooner. Both Aston Martins have been in the wall. Is he going to get away with it? You can't see any damage so far. Is it at turn 15? Is it turn 15? He's just slid into the wall. I don't know if he's got away with that. I think he's got away without damage, which holds to what I was saying before. These front wings are a lot more sturdy than they used to be. Watch it break to smithereens now. But nah, they're that'd definitely, and I know why. I know why the front wing's more sturdy, because it hasn't got the strakes. Because the nose is attached to the front wing, that's why. I've answered my own, do you know what I mean? I'm having a conversation with myself. That's why the front wing's a lot more sturdy, because it's attached to the nose. Whereas back in the day, from a couple of years ago backwards, you've got the nose and then you've got 2 strakes holding the front wing to get it on. So if the front wing gets a tap, those 2 front prongs are just going to get snapped immediately. But this year, the nose and front wing is fused together. That's why the front wings are stronger. Look at how close Perez getting to the exit, getting to the barrier, the exit of turn 15, man. He's done that before in practice as well. They get so close to that Tech Pro barrier on the outside. But yeah, the cars are definitely more sturdy and more, especially front on impacts. They're dealing with front impacts a lot better than they were in previous years, definitely. These cars used to obliterate into a million pieces, the front wings did. Not this year. You can slide into a Tech Pro barrier and get away with it this year, which is unusual. But yeah, on board a replay with Sergio Perez and round turn 15. Oh, he's so close to that barrier on the outside, man. He's literally brushing it with his rear tyre. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect, man. He just slides the car enough as to where the rear tyre just brushes the battery. Just brushes the wall, but Charles Leclerc purple in the first sector. They're saying he's tapped the wall. But Leclerc looking quick then. 4 minutes left in Q2. Alfa Romeo haven't even set a lap time yet. Leclerc then round turn 16. Absolutely full throttle now for like 20 seconds to the line. The longest straight in Formula 1, 2.2 kilometres. And we're on board with Charles Leclerc, and he's going to be porpoising as well, bouncing down the straight. Not as bad as a Mercedes though, with the porpoising. Goes up into P2, beats his teammate, but can't knock Perez off that top spot at the moment. Perez from Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Gasly. The timings look like they're updating anyway. Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Gasly, Russell, Vettel. Yep. Bottas crosses the law. I tell you what, where's the Alfa Romeo pace gone? They're looking like they're going to be 14th and 15th, Alfa Romeo. They've 3 minutes left. They've got a brand new livery this weekend with the green on the engine cover on the rear end of the car. But where's the speed gone? You know, you might have had a new, brand new fancy livery, but you've lost a second and a half of pace. What's going on? Lando Norris then, out of the final couple of flat out corners, and those are scary corners, those last two at full chat. Norris to the line then, stays 10th, and Daniel Ricciardo stays 30th, improves but stays 13th. McLaren in trouble. McLaren not doing anything headline grabbing this weekend, are they? 10th and 13th at the moment for them. On board with Charles Leclerc then. Oh, he does just brush the wall, Charles Leclerc. Is that a turn 7? Let me look at the track map. Yeah, turn 7. Yeah, so Charles Leclerc just brushes the wall on the entry into turn 7. And I tell you what, Verstappen gets clear. Yeah, they're all... Wow, and Verstappen brushes the wall on the exit of turn 7 as well. They're all finding the absolute limits now. They're literally on, you know, into the final millimetres, threading the needle. You know, we've seen Perez literally brushing the wall. We've seen Leclerc just touching the wall, going into turn 7. Seen Verstappen on the exit of 7. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know what for. Maybe someone's gone down the escape road. But yeah, this is crucial now, especially for Lewis down in P11. Remember, 11th through 15th gets knocked out in just a couple of minutes. So you've got to get a move on. What time's the race tomorrow? Midday. Midday race tomorrow, Donald. I'll be live at 10 to 12. Yep, 11:50 a.m. I'll be live for a midday start, so a few hours earlier than quali. I don't know why. I don't know why it's a lot earlier, but there you go. It is what it is. 40 seconds left then in Q2, and here comes the Mercedes to the line. Then Russell doesn't improve. Hamilton does crucially improve, goes ahead of George Russell, then up into P6, pushes his teammate down to 7th. Here comes Sebastian Vettel to the line then. Go on, Seb. Beats George. Splits the Mercedes then, does Sebastian Vettel. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo, I think. No, he didn't improve. This is a final attempt then for everyone, with the time just about to run out. If you're already on a lap, you can finish that lap, but once you cross the... once the time runs out, the next time you cross the start-finish line is the end of your session. So he's looking at a replay with Lando Norris going down the escape road at turn 15. Yeah, so Norris is out then. So both McLarens are out looking at this, unless Ricciardo can pull a lap out of the bag. But we've got Norris in 11th, who I don't think he's on a lap by the look of it. Ocon's definitely out then in P12 at best. So it's 12th at best for Esteban Ocon, definitely out. Ricciardo's on a lap, desperately scrambling, trying to get out of Q2 into the top 10. And Alfa Romeo really struggling down there in 14th and 15th. And with Bottas in the pits, he's definitely out as well then. So both Alfa Romeos are definitely out in 14th and 15th. Ocon's definitely out. It's all about Daniel Ricciardo then. It's all about Daniel Ricciardo. Can he scrape through? This is crucial for Tax. This is crucial for Daniel's career, to be honest with you. Coming round the final, those last two corners are rapid to the line then for Daniel Ricciardo. He's trying to get some, opens the DRS, sparking away to the line, improves, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's P12 for Daniel Ricciardo. Jumps ahead of Ocon, but I don't think Norris isn't on a lap. Both McLarens are out. That's it. Norris 11th, Ricciardo 12th. Esteban Ocon P13, Zhou Guanyu P14. Where was his pace from Q1? But Zhou Guanyu 14th and out. Valtteri Bottas a second from safety and out as well in P15. So the top 10 is Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen. Oh, the graphics gone out. Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Gasly, Hamilton, Vettel. Fair play, Sebastian Vettel. I'll tell you what, he's turned his season around. George Russell, Alonso and Tsunoda. So both AlphaTauris in the top 10 shootout. Just Alonso. So Ocon's out, but Alonso's through for Alpine. That's a good job. And everyone else is pretty much expected. Both Ferraris, obviously both Red Bulls, both Mercedes. But yeah, both McLaren's knocked out. Damn it. Yeah, Russell P1. hey, funnily enough, Francis, that's what I had. But listen, I had Russell pole position, but I'm a madman. Listen, the clue's in the name. Motorsport Madman. Don't listen to me, but yeah, I had Russell pole as well. So at least there's two of us on the same wavelength. I don't know about the rest of the world, but yeah, Russell P1. No, listen, I made my predictions on a Thursday, thinking I was being clever, thinking, oh, Mercedes are going to be quick. I was thinking, yeah. Mercedes are going to be quick here. Thinking I was being a smart ass, you know what I mean? Thinking, I'm one step ahead of the game here. I'll go Russell pole, and it'll seem outrageous, but then Mercedes will be rapid. Nah, it's just plain outrageous. They're a second off. I mean, what time did Perez set of 1:41.9? And the quickest Mercedes is Hamilton on a 43.1. It's like 1.2 off. You know, I'll tell you what, if Russell does get pole, I'll tell you what, that would be epic. That would go down in history. A lap from nowhere. Yeah, it's a shame, Tax, but yeah, from P12. To be honest, it's about where I expected him to qualify. You know, he said he's been struggling. You know, the McLaren's not right up there at the sharp end anyway, despite Norris's podium in Imola, which was miraculous. Despite all that, McLaren don't look particularly strong anyway. So P12 is probably about where I expected them to be fair. Oh, do you know what? I'll leave it on now. I just thought I've still got that background music on. I bet that's so annoying. No, is the background music? I can't hear it, but is it quiet enough to not be annoying? Do you know what I mean? do 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 for a full hour. This is why I don't get any views. This is why I was struggling for views, isn't it? Because I've got a background track going do 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 for an hour. Oh my god. We live and learn, don't we? Yes, Chris. Is it alright? Is it quiet enough? It's not annoying, is it? I keep forgetting to switch it fully off. I have music playing on another PC. What do you mean? Oh, you mean you've got music playing on another PC? Fine for... Oh, well, doing alright then. It's quiet enough, can barely hear it. That's alright then. That's alright. Oh, it's fine. Oh, yeah. Chilling then. You know what I mean? We're doing alright. But yeah, lining ourselves up for the final part of qualifying in Baku. This is where it really matters. These are the guys fighting for the wins, fighting for the championships, fighting for pole position today in Azerbaijan. Who's it going to be? Come on, guys. Predictions in chat. My initial prediction on Thursday was Russell, but I am deluded. So I will refresh that prediction. And I will say I'd love Perez to get it. Sends a statement. I go Sergio Perez. But that's just because I'd like to see that, because that makes a more interesting story, and that's how I work. That's how my enjoyment of Formula 1 works. The more interesting the story, the more I back it. You know, you don't want to see the same person winning every week. It's not an interesting story. But Perez on pole, that's an interesting story, because he's putting it. He's showing then he might not just be a flash in the pan, you know, I win Monaco and then you're nowhere for the rest of the season. It's sort of showing, ooh, I might be in this for the lot, you know. He's sort of telling everyone, I'm in this. So I'd love to see, I'll back a Perez pole. Yeah. But what are we saying? Perez, yeah, everyone's we're going Perez. Matty going Perez. Tax going Perez. Nestor going Perez. Denver's not here, but Denver back Perez as well. Yeah, you know, Perez all round. It'll be Leclerc, won't it? It'd be Leclerc, won't it? Do you know what I mean? No, it'd be Russell. It'd be. I've got it right. Nah, I hope it's Perez. But you can't write out the Ferraris. I mean, it'd be interesting as well if Sainz got it. You know, if Sainz pulled a lap out of the bag, that's a good story. You know, that would be like, oh, you know, little reminder that there's, you know, 4 drivers in with a shot, not just 3. You know, this isn't just a championship of Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez. You know, this should be a championship of Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz. And if Sainz can go, bang, I'm in, you know, game on. So I'd love that as well. The fight for pole is on. We are underway for the final session. This is where it's all decided. This is where they find that extra millimetre. But you don't want to go push it too far and put it in the wall like Lance Stroll. And Vettel was in the wall, but he's got away with it and he's in this session. Fair play, Sebastian Vettel. And it is his circuit, to be fair. You know, I think Vettel's got the best record round here. Even though he's been a different winner every single time. You know, a different driver has won this race every single year it's happened. I think it's been like, I don't know why I do this to myself, but I think it's Rosberg. Or Bottas has won it once. Hamilton's won it once. Ricciardo's won it once. Who's won this? Rosberg, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Bottas. Oh, I don't know who the other one is. But no one's won more than twice anyway. Oh, there we go. Oh, previous polls, that is. But it is game on. This is where... you got to find these... But as interesting as the pole position fight is, also the fight for P5, it's also big. Like I said, any one of those drivers can get P5. P5's mega up for grabs. It could be Alonso, Tsunoda, Russell, Hamilton, Gasly, Vettel, any of them. If you can break into the top 4, you've pulled off a madness if you're one of those guys. But yeah, Sainz losing the rear end in turn 1. Into turn 2 then for Carlos Sainz. Are fully on it now. This is maximum engine mode, low fuel, brand new soft tyres. This is as fast as they go over the full Grand Prix weekend. They get nowhere near these kind of lap times in the full race when you've got the full 100 kilos of fuel on board and all the rest of it. This is where they're at. This is where it's balls to the wall, absolutely on the limit. This is Formula 1 in its absolute purest form. And Leclerc has beaten Sainz in Sector 1 straight away. Here comes Sergio Perez as well. But Leclerc is fastest in Sector 1 at the moment. Won't be Latifi. No, it probably won't be Latifi on pole, Chris. Probably not. Considering he's... in 18th. But yeah, Leclerc looking quick off the bat. Sainz quickest in the middle sector though. I tell you what, I'd back a Sainz pole. But these they'll have 2 attempts. So this is the first of 2 attempts. Leclerc looking rapid then. But here's Sainz to the line then. With the rear end bobbing up and down as it does this year. And a 41.8 for Carlos Sainz. Here comes Charles Leclerc to the line then. Can he beat that? No, he can't. By half a tenth. By half a tenth, Leclerc second. Perez only third at the moment. So Sainz is on provisional pole. It's Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen at the moment then. Gasly in that coveted P5 that's up for grabs. Gasly in that at the moment. A full second off the pace. They're in a different league, the top 4. Russell 6th at the moment. Vettel pops up into P7. Hamilton 8th. Alonso 9th. Yuki Tsunoda 10th in the first... the opening blow of this final Q3. Replay of Charles Leclerc. Whoa, fully loses the rear end, Charles Leclerc. So he's got time in hand. He's got time to him. He's got potential to improve as Charles Leclerc because he made a mistake there on the exit of the castle section there. There's turn 12, something like that. Wow. Nearly at the wall there with just give it a full boot of throttle and just lost the rear end momentarily there. So he's got a couple of tenths in hand there, definitely. Leclerc. But yeah, 6 minutes to go then they'll all file back into the pits, get the new tyres on, brand new set of soft tyres, and they'll go for one final push for pole position. But Ferrari looking very strong. We're seeing a replay of Sergio Perez as he made a mistake. Did he? Oh my God, he tapped the wall on the entry into turn 5, is that? Wow. Oh, and Verstappen, I tell you what, they've all been sliding around making little mistakes, That's Leclerc, Perez, and Verstappen have all made little mistakes on that first flying lap then. Wow. Because it's on the limit, this. They're finding, like I said, this is where they're finding every last millimetre possible. And, it's resulting in a couple of them just asking a bit too much from the car. And just stepping over the mark a bit. But look at how close it is. It's less than 0.2 of a second between the top four. You know, half a tenth between Sainz and Leclerc first and second. You know, Perez just a tenth behind that. Verstappen, you know, less than half a tenth behind Perez. It's really, really close. And then a full second, you know, you're talking 8-9 tenths of a second to Pierre Gasly in fifth, who, by the way, is wake up time for AlphaTauri if he gets P5, because you know, I've been saying every week in my preview shows, you know, AlphaTauri have been a bit all over the place this season, been nowhere near the kind of performances that we're getting last season. So if AlphaTauri and Pierre Gasly can pick up a P5, pick up a penguin, if he can pick up a P5 today in quali, then it's like season underway for AlphaTauri. It's only taken 8 races. I'll go Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen. You can't write out Max Verstappen. You can't write out Max Verstappen. Any of the top 4, it's up for grabs. I love that it's so close between Ferrari and Red Bull. I know I keep saying it, but we don't realize how lucky we are that we haven't got like Ferrari, then half a second off, or like 0.6 of a second off, then come the Red Bulls, and then another 0.6 the next team. We're so lucky that the fight at the front is so incredibly close. You know, if there's a tenth between the top 4, inject it, man. It's just absolutely... We don't realise how lucky we are to have Ferrari and Red Bull so close like this. You know, it's a team of 800 people independently building a car, completely independently of one another, and they turn up on the track and they're within a tenth of a second of each other round a lap. We don't know how lucky we are to that it's this close. I wish the midfield would catch up a bit. That 0.8 of a second gap between 4th and 5th is not the one. You know, I think Mercedes can bridge that gap, but it's a hell of a task for the other teams to bridge that gap between 5th and 4th. You know, Mercedes have got the best chance of doing so, but by then the championship's gone. You know, it's the championships between Ferrari and Red Bull. Here we go then. Final 2 minutes of Q3. These are the crucial laps now. This is where it all matters. Here we go then for Carlos Sainz. Doesn't lose the rear end in turn 1 this time. Whoa! He's touched the wall on the exit of turn 2. Whoa! On the absolute limit, Carlos Sainz. Brushing the wall on the exit of turn 2. Go on, Carlos. Down into 3. Oh, beautiful there. But how much time did he lose hitting the wall? Well, I say hitting the wall, just kissing the wall. Wow. Turn 5 and 6 chicane. Is he backed out of it? I think Sainz has backed out of it. We see Leclerc wrestling with the car there in turn 4. Here comes Charles Leclerc then into the 5-6 tight little chicane, down into the narrow part of the circuit, then down to turn 7 for Charles Leclerc. Don't hit the wall on the entry. They get so close, that wall on the entry, turn 7. Leclerc's gone purple in sector 1, then fastest of anybody for Charles Leclerc in sector 1. Oh my god. This is going to be so close. With Leclerc only 47 thousandths of a second slower and improving. Almost drifting round turn 15 then. Charles Leclerc. Here he comes round 16. Absolutely crucial. Oh, he's half a second quicker. Charles Leclerc is going to absolutely smash them all out of the park here. Charles Leclerc is going to absolutely blow them all out of the water here. This is absolutely rapid. It's a 41.8 to beat. He's going to get a low 41 here. This is rapid. Charles Leclerc to the line. Boom, 41.3. He's a half a second quicker than Carlos Sainz. Can anybody get anywhere near that? I don't think so. I think Leclerc's just put the absolute gauntlet down and said, I want the championship lead back this weekend. Here comes George Russell. Verstappen goes P2 then. So Verstappen goes P2, but he's still 3.5 seconds off Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's absolutely blasted them all out of the water there with that 41.3. No one's getting close to that. Verstappen's got nearest with 3.5 tenths off the pace. Sainz, but here comes Perez, and round the last couple of corners, Perez has been knocked down to 4th in all of this. You know, here he comes to the line then. He said long run to the straight. Russell's in that P5 position at the moment. Will that change? Here comes Perez then. Goes to P2. Wow, so he couldn't get anywhere near Charles Leclerc, but he's gone up to P2, beats his teammate. So it's Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Sainz, top 4. Looking like Russell's going to get that 5th. Gasly 6th, Hamilton 7th, Tsunoda 8th. Vettel 9th and Alonso 10th. What a qualifying session that was. But Charles Leclerc just absolutely pulled a lap from the gods. Smashed him, mate. Never write a man off. That was impressive, yeah, Leclerc. I tell you what, I think that's his 6th pole position in 8 races. Wow. Well, what a finale that was! I tell you what, that I'll be watching the replay of that on board with Charles Leclerc later, because that's a hell of a lap. And Perez to beat Verstappen as well. That's a bit of a story. You know, I said he's if he gets pole, he's making a statement. Beating Verstappen's making a statement. Look at how close it is there. Carlos Sainz brushing the wall on the exit of turn 2. Whoa, just. Wow. Here we go with showing a replay of Sergio Perez. Again, I think that's turn 2. They're drifting around turn 2. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That was a dramatic finish. But yeah, it's ended up Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Sainz. Russell got that P5. Gasly P6. That's a hell of a result for AlphaTauri. Both AlphaTauris in the top 8. Hamilton sandwiched between them. Vettel 9th and Fernando Alonso 10th. Well, that's it from me for now. Join me early, a few hours earlier. I'll be live at 10 to 12 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at midday tomorrow, guys. So yeah, you jinxed it and said Leclerc would get pole. Yeah, because I knew, didn't I? Hey, Matty, because I was like, yeah, loves Perez, and then Leclerc's getting it, man. Leclerc's getting it. He pulled off a great lap then, Charles Leclerc. You can't take away from him. 6 poles in 8 Grand Prix, I think. So join me tomorrow midday for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. See you later, guys. Peace out.